The coronavirus episode that's not really about the coronavirus. This is the Get Your Ass to Work podcast, episode number 60. Yes, we're going to talk about the coronavirus, but more importantly than the virus, we are going to talk about the economic impact that is about to happen because of the hysteria of this coronavirus. People are losing their frickin' minds, man. I went to the store the other day. You can't buy toilet paper. You can't buy hand sanitizer. You can't buy any sort of disinfectants. I'm actually surprised at this point you can even buy dish soap right now. And now we're talking about dog food is running out. People are buying up all of these non-life sustaining supplies. Meanwhile, the economy is totally going to hell in a handbasket. The Dow Jones has lost, like almost 10,000 points or just something crazy. I'm not a specialist in the Dow Jones, but I know that it's lost huge amounts of money. These are people's 401ks. This is people's retirement money. People are getting laid off of jobs already. I'm already seeing the posts on Facebook. Just got laid off from my job because of the coronavirus. Casinos are slow. Travel is slow. Airlines are slow. Resorts, hotels, restaurants. For Christ's sake, people aren't going out and doing anything because they're so afraid of this virus. I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should worry about the virus. I will say this because it's my show, my opinion, and I don't care if you don't like it. I'm not seeing the numbers. Look, I'm really not seeing. People are going crazy about what's happening in Italy. The population of Italy at 60 million people, and we're not talking about a huge number of people dying. Now, there's all these reasons why it's happening in Italy. Let's take something closer to home like the USA, where 50 people have been confirmed died because of complications with coronavirus and pre-existing conditions. So yes, it does kill people, but not by the numbers that people are freaking out over. Look, guys, when AIDS came out in the 80s, the economy didn't stop, and AIDS was sure 100% going to kill your ass if you got it. And what did people do? They still went out and screwed people, unprotected sex, got AIDS, and now we have some sort of a cure. Not a cure, but we've got some sort of pill that stops you from dying from that virus. Look, we're shutting down the economy. Kids are being sent home from school for the entire school year. People are losing jobs. People are closing down their conventions. They are stopping professional sports. All of this is going to have a huge economic impact, yet alone the huge amount of money that's been lost in the stock market. People are complaining, oh, well, why did the Fed pump all this money into the stock market? It's like, guys, do you not understand that if all of these companies go down and all of this money ends up lost, what that's going to do to the rest of the nation? We're talking about everybody going down, all of the jobs being lost. Who do you think is going to be able to afford health insurance if you do get it and you have to go to the doctor? I had a recent ER visit. It cost me $11,000 because I had some stomach virus. 11 grand they charged me to go to the ER for 4 hours. So yeah, guys, this is pretty real. And by the way, I had health insurance and it wasn't worth a shit, but that's my fault. Straight up my fault for not knowing better that my ER bill was not going to be covered by my healthcare provider. Moving on, the huge economic impact that this is going to have on the real estate market isn't going to be felt for up to 90 days. It's going to take a while for that to happen. Interest rates just went up to almost 5% overnight. It's going to have a huge slowdown on people's buying power, and it's going to stop people from being able to purchase homes. People aren't going to be able to pay rent because they're losing their jobs, and kids are going to be home from school, meaning what are you going to do? Are you going to take your kid to work? Is that going to happen? Your kids can't go to school, and so you got to feed them more. And your job's getting axed because not enough people are going to restaurants and buying things in public places and going on travel and vacations. Guys, this is actually way more scary than the virus itself. The virus itself, people are already recovering. Not only are people recovering, but not that many people have got the virus. I know it's early. I know it's early. I know that this is going to carry on for 6 months or more, where this is going to be spread through the world, and we're going to have probably a lot of people get sick and people are going to die. And I'm not saying that's not sad, but this happens every year with the flu. It happens every single time we have an election. Some new virus comes out and it's going to kill everybody. And then what happens? It doesn't. And the world goes on. But this time, the panic is real. This time, we're shutting down economy. This time, the world is taking a huge financial hit because of a virus that hasn't even yet really taken significant impact on the world. So here are my thoughts on this. If you are in a position right now where you are about to lose your job, where it is possible that you're not going to have work in the next 30, 60, 90 days because of this virus, you better start looking for another job now. You better start looking for a way to make ends meet and get some income coming in today. Do not wait for the possibility of your job getting cut. Start looking now. Start looking down the road a mile ahead, because who knows where this is going to go. And if it doesn't happen, great. But for everybody else, if you're over leveraged on your homes, if you're already struggling to make payments, there's a really good chance that in 90 days, there's going to be huge foreclosure crisis. Look, when people can't pay their rents, landlords might be struggling too. They may not be able to pay their bills. They may not be able to make the mortgage payment on the house that you're renting because you can't pay them to make that work. This could go downhill really, really quickly. And I know people think business owners have all this extra money and all this capital. Well, not every business in the world is Amazon with billions of dollars. Most businesses in the United States are still small businesses with one, if not any, employees. Most businesses in the USA, the small business community is still what drives the U.S. economy. Everyone looks at all these people like, all the CEOs, and are like, oh, fuck them, they're making all this money. So if you're a business owner, you're just lumped into that category. Most businesses are month to month. Most businesses need this month's revenue to pay this month's bills, if not worse, where they need this month's revenue to pay last month's bills so they can keep the doors open for one more month. That is a lot of businesses, guys. And what is going to happen is all these places are going to close if we don't right the economy. Now, I don't know how to do that other than quit fucking panicking. Nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened yet. I know everybody needs to be cautious. I know everybody needs to wash their hands and everybody should keep some distance from people. But the bodies haven't piled up yet. And we are trading a huge crash in the economy. And what's really going to happen, what'll be really scary, is if in 60, 90 days, people don't have money to pay their rent. People don't have money to buy food. You want to see riots? You want to see society really break down? Wait until there is actual panic and people aren't panicked about buying toilet paper. Wait until this panic becomes over the last can of food at the grocery store. Wait until all of the shelves on all of the grocery stores are completely cleared out because oil and gas has tanked and people can't pay to afford to run the pumps anymore, or they can't transport anything. Wait until infrastructure really breaks down on the shipping. Like, we've got life so easy here. First world, real first world problems. When we go to third world problems, this country is going to riot, and nobody, I guarantee almost nobody, is ready for that kind of societal breakdown, including myself. And I like to think I'm a tough motherfucker and I can survive a lot, but man, when shit really hits the fan and stuff breaks down like that because the world starts going to hell in a handbasket, I'll tell you what, man, we are going to see problems that have never existed here in the USA. Maybe in the 20s and 30s, but at least not in our lifetime. and it will be ugly. So I know this podcast doesn't have a huge reach. We're not going to hit hundreds of thousands of people. But for the people it does hit, I would say, hey, be ready. For those of you who don't have a lot of money saved in the bank, it may not even be worth shit in 60 to 90 days if the economy continues to collapse. Dollars may not mean a hell of a lot. Like, really, things can turn really, really fast. So, hey, be ready. Toilet paper is not what I suggest you stock up on, because you can't eat toilet paper when everything else around you runs out. And nobody is going to care to trade you toilet paper for a can of food, because toilet paper ain't worth shit. So if you're going to go out and hoard some items of actual survival value, because toilet paper and hand sanitizer won't be it. Oh, man. I can't wait to see what happens this coming week. And next week's show, I'm sure we're going to be talking about this topic again. I know this is typically real estate related. Even if I think even if this economy does recover rather quickly, and I know people's attention spans in the U.S. is rather short, extremely short. I'm hoping that this virus is just as short of an attention span. It may not be, but I hope everyone's attention span and willingness to talk about it online wraps up rather quickly, because everything else in the world ends up being a quick 1 week to 2 week topic, and then it disappears. I hope this is one of them, because if we keep going down this path, we're gonna have probably the most memorable time of hardship that probably anybody has experienced for the last 100 years. At least that's my feeling, if this doesn't get turned around quickly. We'll see you guys next week.